What's going on, everybody? 360 Digital Closing Bell here. We are live on YouTube from an undisclosed location here in Denver, Colorado on this gorgeous Friday, June 26th, 2020. As always, I am joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the publisher and director of the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com, Stuart Turley. Stu, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing fantastic, Michael. It is Friday, and you got a hall pass to turn in.
We do have a hall pass to figure out, and you can check out everything that happened this week in energy going to the 360 the Oil and Gas 360 news deck. You can find that on the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com. Just subscribe to this podcast, 360 Digital Closing Bell, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, the best way to stay up to date on all of your energy market news. I mean, when we look at the markets as a whole, 2 months ago, I got tired of telling you every single day that the market was tanking due to coronavirus. And unfortunately, the same story is today. Stocks finished down about 2.5% solely on some coronavirus information. I think the big quote that we pulled today was from Ton Essay, founder of the Stevens Report. Coronavirus cases are spiking and reopenings are being delayed, which at a minimum will impact earnings. And that's sort of the key. Earnings out, Q2 earnings are going to be up in about 2 weeks. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see where all of these earnings go. When we dive into the actual digital ticker today, SPY 3009. That's about a 2.5% drop, or about 74 points on the day. Tech stocks doing just a little bit better, only down 200 points, about 2.1 percentage points off that index. 9988 for that index. Dow Jones 2515, staying just above 25,000. 700 point drop for the day. 2.8 percentage points, led heavy by airline stocks. Spirit and American both down heavy, dragging that index down. Crude oil doesn't fare well today. 38.20, about a 1.3% index, 50 cents drop on the day. 12-month strip back into the curve does not do as well. 30.59, about 1.4 percentage point drop, or about 59 cents on that one. Natural gas again gets pounded. It has been a bearish week if you are in natural gas. $1.47, down 10 cents on the day. That's about 0.6% off that index. 12-month strip, those are the only green number for natural gas that we see on the board today, of 0.9 percentage points, $2.69. XOP, which is our E&P securities contract, for the first time since the stock split, is trading below $50, $49.74. That's a $2 drop off the $2.50 drop off the index, or about 4.8 percentage points. OIH, which is our oil field services contract, 116.87. That's a $5 drop on that index, or 4.7 percentage points off that index. So energy equities leading the losses for the S&P 500. On the downside, we have some big numbers. Barnwell Industries Corporation, $1.07. That's a 13 percentage points drop, Stu. PDC Energy, $11.48. That's 14%. Wiped off the index in one day. And Contango Oil and Gas, ticker symbol MCF. We know I love a good ticker symbol. $2.42. 23 percentage points off that index. There were some good upside numbers, though, so that's really, really good to see. If my thing will load here. Perfect. Evolution Petroleum Corporation, $9 or 9.2 percentage points on the upside, $2.95. Midcon Energy Partners, ticker symbol MCEP. We've been mentioning them a lot this week, up 12 percentage points, $4.18. And Vulcan Minerals Corporation, up to $3.64, 21 percentage point increase on that. Guys, I've been preaching to you all week, but please go to theoilandgasconference.com. You can find out how to register for the Oil and Gas Conference. That's literally the name. That's how important it is. It's just the Oil and Gas Conference, the best place to find all of your investor relations materials. There's going to be over 40 presenting companies who you're going to find out all of what they're up to in terms of production. I mean, this is the time to attend one of these events, because you're going to be able, talk about the impact of the coronavirus. You're going to be able to peer behind the noise and see exactly what was going through these companies' minds and what they actually did through the coronavirus. You'll be able to cut through the noise and figure that out. Please check out the Oil and Gas Conference to learn how to register. Stu, what's on the international news desk for us?
Hey, thanks, Michael. We got a couple stories. We got Moscow, London, from Urals, which is the blend of heavy sour. Europe is not digging the price increase. It looks like it's about $4 increase per barrel. And so on Brent, that's a lot of extra money. So they're turning away. And so it's causing that balance that we've been talking about between Russia and the rest of the world on their natural gas, as well as their Europe, that blend. Got another ESG and finance. Again, if you don't have ESG, you ain't got capital. Back to you.
No, exactly. I would check out that ESG. You just got off an interview specifically around the ESG that will be dropping next week. I mean, really just a couple things that came across my news deck. First happened last night. Oxy is suing Sanchez Energy, which over like a $2.3 billion Comanche transaction that was supposed to happen in 2017 that was originally with Anadarko that Sanchez backed out on right before Occidental went in and purchased that. Apparently there was some paperwork and agreement. You can check that article out. It's a Houston Chronicle article, and they've limited our access. So you can check out the article on oilandgas360.com for the unfiltered version. Really the only other big news item that happened today, and this was ran on the Oil and Gas 360 news is that Stu picked up this morning, was, remember when we were dealing with negative $37 oil and there was all of this talk about, well, how do we actually price oil and gas? Because I think it was a little ridiculous seeing negative $37 oil. That clearly wasn't the actual price of oil. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. And we've talked plenty about why that disruption happened. Well, S&P Global Platts and Arge Media are both agencies seeking to break away from the traditional landlocked system and are seeking to replace the WTI crude futures benchmark with a new benchmark that they feel more accurately represents how oil is being priced. S&P Global Platts has said in a release that its benchmark for U.S. crude, called the Platts American Gulf Coast Select, or AGS, would reflect the value of waterborne tight, light sweet crude supplied from the Permian Basin in West Texas and New Mexico on major pipelines to the Gulf. So shifting away from Cushing using as that benchmark, but as mentioned, Permian Basin in West Texas and New Mexico, major pipelines that are moving sweet crude to the Gulf. So that could be a major impact. I mean, right now, a lot of these, that's how we quote WTI. So it'd be very interesting if we start. How do you like? I don't know if I like that ticker symbol, Stu. AGS. I don't know if I like quoting that. Do you like that?
No, absolutely not.
But to be honest with you, this is probably long overdue, and I think this negative $37. I just think we need to submit a new ticker symbol. We should start taking suggestions. If we did, I think this is a good idea. If you want my insider opinion on this, Stu, I think this is a good move, because I really think moving away from the landlocked Cushing system is probably the smart move, and that negative $37 is around that. I just don't like the ticker symbol. So we start GoFundMe so we can fund some more market research into a better ticker symbol so we can trade this. All the traders out there agree with me, I hope. We'll get it thrown up. We'll get it thrown up here on the news desk. All right, that's really all I have, Stu. Do we have anything else we missed? It was a wild week. I hope everyone enjoyed the long form podcast that we dropped this morning, covering everything that we some of the top stories to happen more along this week. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, and Entercom's YouTube. We missing anything, Stu? We gotta let these guys get out of here.
I think we're ready for the hall pass, and let's talk about this pricing issue on our long podcast.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff we can get into. Guys, please, we have a hall pass to give out. If you listen to the show, like you said, you can go ahead and tell your boss you can get out of work. Thank you for checking out the 360 Digital Closing. We will see you guys Monday morning for our Week Ahead podcast, and in the afternoon for the Digital Ticker.